Today we're going to be doing a makeup class for Miss Nicole. We're going to be teaching 3 different techniques on how to do her makeup. We're going to do what I call a quick fix, which is like your no makeup look, something you can do in like 15 minutes or less. I'm going to teach her our polish, which is about a 30-minute makeup routine, and then I'm going to teach her a full glam, which may take her anywhere from like 30 minutes to an hour, depending on how much time she wants to take to pamper herself for the day. So how are you feeling, Nicole? Are you excited?
I am super excited. I want to do full glam every day.
Yeah. She's one of them girls.
Yeah, I want to do full glam every day, but I'm excited. I'm a little nervous though, because I just love how you can change the structure of the face, and I think that's what I'm more so wanting to know how to do. But
sure.
I feel good. I feel good.
Okay, well, have a seat, girly.
Okay.
We're gonna talk about a couple things first. I know our order hasn't quite gotten here yet, but I want to talk to you about primers. What primers do you use?
Okay, so primer. What do we have? Well, this is really not a primer, but this is the oil. It is. It's the oil mattifying primer, and then I have this e.l.f. one as well.
The power grip.
Yeah. So these are the 2 that I'm using right now.
How do you feel like your makeup looks towards the end of the day? Like, do you like the finish of your makeup? Do you
I feel like whatever I do, I'm just too oily. It's always oily, and it just drives me insane.
Okay. So what I would suggest then is maybe swapping out the power grip. The power grip is going to mimic the Hydro Grip, which is very, very hydrating, very, very like dewy-esque, which isn't a bad thing. It just is if that's not really you and you like more like a soft, matte face, then I would recommend a different primer. I'm going to show you the Blurring Balm by Vanessa.
Okay.
So there's 2 different kinds. There's the Moisture Balm, and then there's the Blurring Balm.
Okay.
So if you do feel like your skin gets dry or like dehydrated in certain areas,
yeah, I've heard her primer is like really good. Ooh, let's see if we can add that on the board and just do a show.
Yes, I would say the Blurring Balm for sure, but if you do have issues with like dry flaky skin in certain areas, I would also recommend the Moisture Balm. It's just super hydrating. So the Blurring Balm has a little bit more like a silicone feel without it really like taking on the effect of like a Smashbox. Do you ever use that Smashbox primer?
Yeah.
So it's not that silicone, but it does have like some silicone filler in there to like basically help with if you have any skin texture or anything that you want to kind of smooth, it does a really good job for that. Okay, so I'm gonna have you take your Blurring Balm on your hands. Are your hands clean?
Yes.
Okay. I'm gonna have you take some of this Blurring Balm on your hands, and you really don't need too much. Okay. Rub it in your fingertips first. Okay. So not just your 2 fingers, but like fingertips. Okay. And you want to start in the center of your face. Anytime you're applying any type of like primer product, I like to start in the center and to kind of feather it out all over the rest of the face. Should go straight up in the front. So it's gonna feel a little like dry. That's kind of what you want. You want it to like blur and smooth. And then what I would also recommend is if you know you get extra oily, like in your T-zone, I would still use your one size blurring. So I'll have you take a little bit of your one size, which I think for every day, if you were doing your quick fix, for every day you could just go in with just the Blurring Balm. Okay. And that would be enough for you.
And it would be the same with the primer, like rubbing it into my fingertips.
Yep. And then for this one, you're gonna start mainly on your nose, forehead, and chin, where you get extra oil. Yeah. Yeah. So one thing I'll do for me, because I like to have like a glow and I like to be like matte in my T-zone, I use Vanessa Meyer's Yummy Skin, her serum. It's a lot more, it's a lot more juicy, a lot more hydrating, almost like the Power Grip but without the sticky. Okay. I use that, and I use the oil sucker in my T-zone. So I'm really big on like layering your primers and like just using what you need.
Do you have the other Vanessa Meyer's one that you were just saying?
The Moisture Balm?
Oh, that's what we just used.
No, we use the Blurring Balm. What is this one? I think you have it. Yeah, you have it already.
Child, that is bad.
So that's what that is. Or you know what?
No, this is not. That's the powder.
The powder is good too, though. This is a really good one to use for what's the one that's in the middle? The polish.
The polish?
Yes.
Okay.
My favorite thing to do for a polished look is to have a good concealer, a good powder, like the Studio Fix powder or the Yummy Skin powder. I do feel like you might like the Studio Fix powder a little more. But what you could do is use this as a primer for your full glam routine.
Oh, I can use this as a primer, even though it's like a colored powder.
Yes.
Okay.
Because it's still gonna have like base ingredients like just the regular blurry skin. Because this is basically just the universal shade that can work for anybody.
Okay.
But what you have is the shade that works for your color.
Okay.
So you can use that as a primer as well.
Okay.
We're gonna start, when you normally do your makeup, do you start like eyes and brows or do you start on your skin?
I start my eyebrows first and then I go to my skin.
Okay. Well, that's what I like to do as well. I think anytime you're learning like how to do eyes or all of that jazz, you definitely want to start with your eyes first, just in case you make any mistakes. You need to back it up. You don't take off the rest of your skin. So what brow products do you have that you use?
So what I've been using now is that Rare Beauty for my brow.
Brow gel.
Yep, for my brow gel. And then the Precisely from Benefit is like what I just really love to use for the pencil, and that's all.
Okay. Well, this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna give you a couple pointers on your brows first, and then I'm gonna let you try them on yourself. Okay. So I don't like to start with a gel. I think sometimes the gel
it gets a little gunky sometimes.
Yes, very much so when you try to go after. So you already know.
Yeah.
So I like to just always brush them up first, kind of just get an idea for the shape, what I'm going for. For me, I like to start on the bottom, and I don't like to start in the very front. I think sometimes when you start in the front, you can come in too harsh or maybe cut it off, give it a weird shape. So when you start in this area here, you can kind of see where your brow is naturally wanting to flow. I'm taking the pencil on its side rather than straight on so that I can really shade. So I like to start there, and then I kind of take it backwards through the front of the brow. So now I have that line.
And see, I always would start in the front, so now I need to start like back here and then just shade it in.
Yeah, it just gives you a little more like shape. Sometimes when you come in through the front, you can make them too round.
Make them too round, too square.
So then after I do that one, I brush them down so I can really see where those hairs, the direction that they're going. And I'm gonna follow the same kind of guideline, laying it on its side. And I'm not really going too far outside of where your brow hairs naturally live. And then once I do that, I'm just gonna go back through and shade.
Just shading it in.
Yep, just like a rough shade. Doesn't have to be perfect, but you can see just one side versus the other. And then I'm gonna take it straight up and down in the front and just kind of flick. So instead of like harsh lines there, if you kind of flick it, it'll just keep it all nice and natural.
Oh my gosh.
And I really can't see you too good. Can I have you face forward just so I can see? So I feel like you need a little bit more here, right? There we go. Now it's totally up to you. For me, I like my brows a little more on the natural side.
Yeah,
so
I like mine on the natural side.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Let me see. I see this line here. Let me just fill that in. And so you can always go back and add where you feel like is necessary, but I feel like it's just so much easier doing them this way versus just coming in and going there. So you try it.
Oh my gosh. Okay, we're gonna
brush them up. And you want to start right in that bridge, kind of creating your line.
It's like right around here.
Yep, you're gonna make that bottom line and then come back through the front.
So I need to make a line like right here?
Yeah, you can still make a line. Yep, but you see your hand motion, how you were kind of like light-handed flickering it? That's exactly what you want to do. And you have to also just be careful because the more you go over it, you know that you're adding more product. Yeah. So then I will brush your brow hairs down. Yep, and then follow that line on the top and drag it down in the corner. So you see how you're kind of raising it up here? You don't necessarily want to do that, but you can always go back. I'll always go back if I did a little too much. You can just wipe it with your finger while it's still kind of wet. It'll be easier to control.
So basically, I'm just staying within the lines. I'm not creating nothing new.
Once you get to this point here, you want to be dropping your line down. You don't want it to come out.
So when I get to right here, I want to be dropping down.
Yes, you want to be dropping down to meet this point here. So even coming out this far is still a little too far. Once you get to this point, you want to meet the hairs that are at the end here. So it's just a little drop down. Yes, like that. That's how you want to be thinking about the control. Now, before you keep adding product, go through, brush them out.
Okay.
So you can get a clear vision of like what they're looking like.
Okay. I still feel like I put too much on.
In the front, it's okay. So instead of taking the front when you go to do it, I can see you kind of doing this motion. In the front, brush them straight up.
Okay.
That's going to help alleviate some of the excess product that you have in there, and also just give you a clear vision of the direction that you want them to go. Okay. So I would go back in this area here. You see that little like box that's not necessarily filled. I'm going to go through and clean them up with some concealer anyway, but that's what you would want it to do.
And so you're just flickering. This is what I feel like I would have issues, because I would just make a line, but I'm just softly flickering up.
And it's almost like creating like hair strokes. You see how you did that in the front to square that off so it's not going slanted? That's exactly what you want to do.
Okay.
So those little like hand motions, practicing, you know, like the flickering and the lightly shading, all of those things like make a difference in how they turn out. So you can see you have a little more product in your brow than I do, which is okay. I would say if you were going for a more polished look, it can be a lot faster and not as heavy. But since we are like focusing mainly on full glam, the way that you fill them is great. You know?
Okay.
But just knowing like what those hand motions are, so that way you can have more control over the product, is what really matters. That looks good. What you think?
They look good.
So then I would go back now.
And when you put the concealer, it gives it that pop, you know?
The concealer's gonna clean it up, make it nice and sharp, you know, so you don't have to worry about it. If you come outside the lines or you make it a little thicker than you want to, you can always control it with that too. So I'm gonna show you. So you see when I'm going through with the gel or even with the brush, it's a very fanned out motion. So the very front, you want to come straight up, and then as you come along, you want to start tailoring it towards the end. So as I come across, I'm slowly starting to just taper it down. Tapering the ends, and then you can always go back, give your finger a little roll motion. Don't talk about my nail. Give your finger a little roll motion. Okay. And that's how you would do that. Okay. So now they look nice and kind of laminated. Yeah. If you do feel like I feel like this one got a little, you know, bent up, you can always go back with just your regular spoolie and tailor the top. Okay. Look how nice. You got good brows, girl. Thank you. We're gonna flick her out. Yep, straight. Just like that. And then tailor towards the end. Yes, period. Mine look okay. You did it. You already do a little bit, but
just a little something.
Okay. And then what I like to do is I like to roll my concealer onto the back of my hand. Is that what you do too?
It depends on how I'm feeling for the day.
So I just roll a little bit of product on the back of my hand. Okay. And then what brushes do you use for this? Okay. This one is probably your best bet, but even this one is a little bit too big. Okay. So I would recommend something about this size. Okay. So you see this one is a little bit longer. It's super flat, and it has just like a slight curve in it. So this one's gonna kind of fall right where you want it to as far as like sculpting. Okay.
Are we talking about eyebrows? So I would use this, if we're sculpting, I would use this one for my eyebrows.
This one isn't bad either. The only thing about this one is that this one is a little too small and it's going to take you longer to get the shape that you want.
Okay, got it. So I have to take a picture of that one.
Yeah, this one is very like detailed, which isn't bad, but I feel like I like this more for like a brow gel or like an eyeliner where you want a really thin line. This area we want to blend out after we conceal, so you would like something a little bit
So that's not gonna do. It's not gonna cut it.
So let me show you this. So I literally just tap into the slightest amount to get a good amount of product on there, and I do the same thing. I start in the curve. I don't want to come too high. I'm very like particular about where I place it before I start drawing. And then if you notice my hand motion, I'm literally using my fingers and my wrist to kind of turn it instead of taking the brush and like, you know what I'm saying, going back and forth. Now that I have that line, I'm gonna pull this down. And you see how the brush is big enough to where it does most of the work. And I'm not even gonna pick back up into that product. I'm just gonna lightly skim and connect the front to the back. See See that?
Child, mine don't never look like this.
I'm gonna show you. So like I said, you're gonna take a small amount of product. You're gonna start in this area here because you can afford to put a little more product here because you have more space, right? We put a ton of product here. It can make this front part a little muddy. So you wanna start here. I take what's left on the brush and kind of pull it down. So that way my brush is now kind of saturated with that extra product.
Before I go to the front.
Before you go to the front. And then what I like to do is once I have it all filled in, I like to go back with that brush, which is why I like a little bit of a wider brush.
Where'd you get that brush from?
This actually is just from Miss A.
Really?
A lot of my little detailing brushes, because I use a lot of them and I go through them quickly, I just will get them from Miss A. My personal brush collection is a little more expensive. Yeah. But little brushes like this, like they do really well and you don't need a lot of product. I'm gonna also take, after I blend that out, I'm gonna take the little bit of product that's left and just tailor up. I like to tailor up the tail.
Yeah. So that's why it always look like my concealer, child, is struggling, because when I use this smaller brush, it's creating that smaller line, and when I try to blend it, it's so hard to blend it, and it's still looking like I have concealer, like I haven't blended it in the way I need to. And I realize now it's the size of the brush that I'm using.
That definitely makes a difference. Like the tools that you use make such a difference, and like the application, how it goes on. But yeah, I really like a brush like this. And you see, I didn't even really come across the whole
You didn't, and usually, girl, I do it how back in the day, child. I will put a line all the way up here, and then I'll put a line all the way through there, child.
So you don't want to, if you do feel like you need to clean up the top of it, I would wait until you're about to do your foundation. When I put a little foundation on my hand, I'll go back with that brush and then just kind of detail and clean up with my foundation. If you do it with your concealer, that's what's going to give you that like floating brows. I don't want to do that. Okay, so doing it with this one, I do like to tailor up the ends with just what's left. But that's if I'm not gonna go on top with the foundation. So you don't have to do this part until you
are finished with the foundation.
Right. But I do feel like once you get control of the pencil, how I was showing you, because even this side over here, it's not like you went crazy outside of the lines over here. It's really just this tail end that got a little too wide. So once you get more control of the product and like knowing how to use it and keep it controlled where you want it, you don't have to do as much to like fix your mistakes or like to clean up, you know?
Yeah.
So I'll let you try.
Okay, I'm gonna try.
Tap into a little bit more. Yes.
Then we're gonna start right here.
But instead of taking it, so the way you had it in your hand was a little more like this. Look at it like this.
From the bottom.
Almost like laying it in that area there. But where you put your line is great. Okay, let's stop for a second. So you see how your skin started to fold? You don't want to put that much pressure. So when I did it on this side, you kind of just want to lay it and then lightly graze across. I'm going to fix that, but get a little bit more product since I took some of it off. Yes.
So I'm just grazing.
Yes. Oh my God, that was perfect!
What?
Look at that one line. Okay, so then you're going to pull it down.
Okay.
And start to kind of blend it out. It's okay, don't be scared.
It look like I got too much product.
It's okay, you're okay. We're kind of taking some of that extra product off by kicking it down. You see what I'm saying? Now what I will say is slow down for just a second, because I feel like you almost get a little bit too like blend happy. So you really want to be detailed, especially when it comes to stuff like the brows and like eyeliner, stuff like that. You want to take a little bit more time. So I'm gonna have you come back, get a little bit closer. You see how this line is a little bit choppy now? Let's go back and try to smoothen the gap. So you see that little bump, and that bump, let's connect that line, and then let's connect this line to the tip. That's a little bit better. You see how it's kind of taking it down now instead of out? Oh, you're okay. It's okay. You want to kind of come a little bit closer, yes, and detail it a little bit more. And you see it already working. It's already better than it was the first time.
Yeah, but yours is like smooth.
But you're getting it there. I would say the difference here and here.
I feel like I got too much product. What's the difference?
I don't think you have too much product. It's just that this is already softened, so you can't see. But what the thing is, I think, is this is wrapping, like when you're doing it, you're coming semicircle and you're coming like this, right? We want to feather it so that it comes in a gradual across. This is a little bit too long when you look at this side versus this side. So what I will show you is what you can do to fix it. I'm gonna take a little more. I know you like more product, but you don't want it to get dry. Once it starts to get dry, it's a lot easier, a lot harder to blend. So I'm gonna turn. This already looks good. You fixed that. So what we're gonna do is just fix this. Instead of taking it down, I'm gonna take it out. You see? And that's the difference. Instead of it being like I'm making a circle,
I'm just going.
Right. Because when you look at your brows, you want to think high point and then back. You don't want them to come down and around because that doesn't do anything for your face shape, right? So we're gonna go back and just pull this out. Now, if you look here, you see how this is kind of sheer compared to the other parts, like it looks a little patchy. So we're gonna take a little bit more product. This motion is, you're gonna hear me reference a lot to pat. So when you're blending, you're shearing it down. When you pat, you're adding the coverage, you're building coverage.
Got it.
So I'm gonna have you go back with what's left on the brush and clean up the front. So this looks good. Only thing I would say is, you see how this just looks like a continuous kind of line?
Yes, and mine does not. It looks like it's a little bumpy.
So what you need to do is...
More product?
Yes.
Okay.
Because you're gonna have to conceal some of that. You don't need a lot. So just put a little of that, and then I wouldn't even put my brush right into that. I would pull from the bottom first. A little bit more. Yep.
And then I just want it to be...
I feel like you didn't even really need more there. It's mainly just this area here. Yep. You see how you're starting to bridge that gap? Just like that.
Child.
That was good.
I'm not going to be able to do this for content day.
Yes, you are.
Girl.
I'm telling you, you just have to practice. When you finish this, you need to rewatch this video and you just need to practice.
Okay.
When I tell you, my other client, Tyler has never done no makeup, girl. She don't put nothing on, okay? And she's been doing her makeup every single day and getting better every single day. You just gotta practice. Okay. You can do it. Okay. Okay, so from this part here, now it looks really good, but we need to blend this, right?
Yeah, because I look like...
You're okay. We're gonna take just a little bit more. Now, normally you wouldn't really need this much product, but because I'm explaining to you, it's drying. Yeah. So that's really why we're using as much as we are. Once you get a little more comfortable, it'll be a little better. So you see, I'm kind of just fixing that little gap, that gap that we had there. And you're literally just gonna take the brush and feather this out. So there's, like I said, the two motions, the feathering and then the tapping.
What would you say is like the hardest parts to kind of know? Would you think brows would be harder, or is it blending? Like, you think brows or eyes?
I think it's just brush technique is probably the hardest, because anything that you're doing can be difficult if you don't know how to properly hold the brush or how to properly use the brush. So brushes, really all brushes with this, right? If I'm going to build coverage, if I'm tapping this in the same area, it's going to build coverage. If I'm buffing this, it's going to lightly shear it out all over my face. So that's what you want to think of when you're doing something. If you have a gap that you need to fix, you want to be tapping. If you have a line that you feel like is too visible, you want to be blending. You know what I'm saying? So that's what it's more so, just grasping like the technique of, this is what I'm trying to achieve. This is what it looks like right now.
Got it.
So, but the brows look good, honey.
Yeah, they do. They do. They look good.
Okay, we're gonna go straight into eyes.
Okay.
Do you really don't even need eye primer, but let me not say you don't need it at the same time.
Okay.
You don't necessarily need it. Like I said, if you're trying to get your eyeshadows to show up, nice, they're still going to show up pretty well with a concealer. It's just the longevity. So if you want something that's going to have like that waterproof, like staying power all day, then I would recommend. Vanessa Meyer's paints are really, really good. I can't remember the name of the one, but I'll show it to you. For me, I just use white paint because it's customizable for skin tones for me. So this is what I've been using as of late. This is the House Labs paint. And so what I'll do for my clients is I'll take just a touch of concealer. I'll take a touch of the paint and kind of mix the two together. That way I get a custom shade for their skin tone. But for you, you can do, like I said, there's a Danessa Meyer ones that's around this color that you can use also as an eyeshadow. So this is pretty much just like creating a little eye base for you that you can use, but there's one that you can use that's actually like an eyeshadow. So
I need that to take a picture. You have it with you?
That one I don't have with me. That's in my personal, just like what I use for myself every day. But I will send you what that one is. Okay. So let me put that in your note. Please. Okay, rub your brushes up against that. We're just gonna make sure there's nothing on there that is gonna mess you up. So I would take this paint. A brush like this is really good. This is just a good like dome brush that you can use to pat. Something like this is a little bit too tapered on the ends. This is better for eyeshadow. But because this one's a little bit flatter on the top, this one is good as eye primer. Okay. So you just want to tap this all over the lid. Doesn't have to be any like perfect rhyme or reason. On the lid though, it's more susceptible to crease, so you want to make sure you tap. That will give you like maximum opacity and also give you just the most like even base for it. And then when I get to the crease area here, I'm just kind of buffing so that I can blend this eye primer into the concealer. Okay. 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 So I'm tapping. Yep. Tap into a good amount of product. Yes, like there for the lid. Okay. And then I'm tapping? Yep, tapping. Make sure you get your lid covered all good before you move on to your crease. Okay. It is okay. The fact that you are retaining that is good too. Okay. So that's how that should look. Okay. Do you have any eyeshadow palettes that you use or no? For an everyday look, what I really like is to use my bronzer on my eyes. Okay. I'm going to show you what both of that looks like as well. So when it comes to doing your eyes, there's 3 different colors that you want to pay attention to. Okay. They also can be swapped out for anything, depending on the look that you're trying to do. So a shade like this is what we call a transition shade. Okay. This is going to be what you initially use in your crease to start to create shape and definition. Okay.
So that's what I'm starting off with.
Yes.
Okay.
So let's say you're doing a pink look, for example. You could use a color like this as a transition shade, or a color like this as a transition shade. Just something that's like not too dark, not too light. You want something that's gonna give you a little bit of, yes. So this guy here is what we're gonna use today. But if she was on a pink look, she could use something like this one, or something like that if she's going for a light, like fresh look. But I'm also gonna show you how to use your bronzer.
Oh yes, because I love to use the bronzer because it's more of a natural look.
So if I was doing a polished look, I probably wouldn't even conceal my brows how I just did. I would just fill my brows lightly so that they look a little more, you know, polished, put my brow gel on and call it a day. Now, as we move on to the polished look, you can conceal your brows, and then I would probably just use my bronzer. So I'm gonna show you what that would look like as well so you can see. I'm gonna take this little fluffy brush. This one is nice because it has a nice peak there, so it'll really get into your socket. That's what you wanna kind of pay attention to. I'm gonna take the lighter shade. I don't want to go too dark, and I'm just going to start in this area here. You can create the line that you want just to make sure it's going to start out the shape that you want. I'm going to pick up a little more product, and then I'm going to start slowly buffing that up towards the brow. So you see I'm not kind of coming in, it's nice and controlled. I'm just slowly working that up into the brow. Okay. So you can see that area. I do feel like the line is still a little muddy, so I'm gonna go back with a little bit of product, but I'm always gonna come back to the crease first. Okay.
And do I start in the crease?
Okay. Yep. You're gonna start in the crease, and you'll always come back to the crease.
In the crease.
So not up here on this meat, right in the socket is where you want to start. Yep, and keep it nice and controlled, just where that natural line is. You have gorgeous, gorgeous eyes, so eyeshadow is gonna be really easy for you guys.
And it pops, you know, I feel like when you have a nice eyeshadow and you do it how you need to do it, like the eyes make the whole look pop. Eyes and brows. And then I gotta go up.
Yep, slowly start buffing that into the brow. That looks so good. You know what you're doing? Yes. So I feel like I have a little more product on my side. which I see you as you're starting, you're kind of just like tapping into it, which is okay. But I would say when you're first starting, you kind of want to give it a swirl.
A swirl.
But like I said, always come back to the crease.
Okay. Let's
Come
start
back to the crease. Yep. And then you can blend that out to where else you need it to go. Yes, very, very nice. So like I said, for a polished look, if this is what I'm going to use on my cheeks, it just really helps like wrap the look up. If you use
was I supposed to go all the way up?
All the way? Okay. Let me see. I think what I did is I have a little bit more here, which you do want to do because this is what's going to flow into your nose contour. So when you add a little more product in this area here, it just kind of starts to already frame your face to go that way. You see?
So I can start a little bit right here and then I can come down to frame the face.
You don't want to go too high. You don't want to but that looks good. Okay. I would add just a little bit more. You see how I kind of dragged it down? Just add a little bit more on this end over here, just so everything is nice and saturated. Because we're going to use foundation to clean up this outside anyway. So
it's okay if it goes outside.
Yeah, it is okay. You honestly want it to go a little more outside because that's what will give you like a softer look. You don't want it to look like there's any harsh lines. Yeah. So if I was just doing a polished look, like I could stop here, you know what I'm saying? Put the rest of my face on and that would be it. So this is like when I'm doing my 30-minute glam, is how I like to think. Like I'll just do concealer, I'll do my bronzer, like bronzer stick, and then a little bit of finishing like foundation powder. So you could use the blurring balm powder, or like I said, I love MAC Studio Fix because it's just enough coverage. It's very like flawless filter, and it's just easy, you know? Okay, so that's that. Now we're gonna step into the palette a little bit more just to show you some more detailing on the eyes. Okay. So this shade is gonna be a little bit lighter than that bronzer we just used. So I'm gonna swirl into this one. Okay. And I'm gonna come a little bit higher than where I did in the crease. So not too high, I'm still kind of in this vicinity, but you see I'm not directly in the socket.
You're not in it, you're above the socket.
Just a little above the socket. I'm still not coming all the way into that brow. So when you're thinking shades, right? Even though we just use both of these as a transition shade, you want to think of it in tiers. Okay. So we put that darker color a little bit more in the socket. Yes, that placement is perfect. Perfect.
I feel like I'm just scared to use too much product.
You're okay, you're doing great. So then one thing I like to do, I do like to keep a little piece of paper towel or something on me and just swirl that off. Yep. It doesn't even have to be super aggressive. And then I'm gonna take into this one. So when I do my brow highlight, right, I'm almost packing the color on a little more than just buffing it out. So I'm gonna kind of lay it on its side and tap into it, kick off that extra. And when I do this, I don't want it to be like white underneath there. So I'm taking a really light hand and just kind of lightly buffing it across. Okay. So even that is a little high, but I'm gonna go back with the brush and just work that in. So now you can still see the highlight, but it's not like it's just one harsh line. Yeah. So these ones you have to be careful with, just because the color is a lot lighter on your skin tone. You don't want to do too much, but you want to make sure you have enough there. Yep, just very lightly, and then I will take that extra off and then go back on top of there just to soften it out. Gorge.
I think I feel the same when I'm doing it. I feel like
you feel like yours looks different?
Yes, it don't look different.
I think it only looks different because you have this line here from when we were trying to clean up your other brow. Okay. I think that's giving you like, oh, this looks crazy, you know, but it doesn't. It looks really nice. And I think when you look back and forth, it pretty much looks the same.
No, I think yours is more, I feel like yours is more defined with the,
okay, so if you feel like the line is just a little bit too,
like I love how this one is defined, and I feel like mine is not defined.
Okay, let me see, because it's hard because I'm also not like right in front of you. Okay, so if that's what you're worried about, this is what you can do. And that really is only because of the concealer line that we made. We go back to this brush. So you can always come back to this brush literally at any time and detail it a little more if you want to. And I think that's what you feel like you're missing. Like, do you see how I'm just grazing across it? So instead of like pushing to where the skin is starting to like fold, you just want to lightly graze across it. And I'm taking it in small batches instead of just going one whole line. Take it in small batches so that you can really connect all those little gaps. Now, if you were first doing this, you probably wouldn't have to be as detailed. But because we already have brow gel, because we already have shadows and stuff moving.
But see, now it looks more, I like it now because it looks like it's cleaned up now.
Yeah, I know what you mean. So when you're going through and you're doing it the first time, just really take your time.
Yeah.
Don't feel like, you have to rush it, which is why I tell people to practice. Like, don't wait until you have somewhere to go to be like, oh, I'm gonna try my makeup today. Like, no. Sit down when you got some time in the morning. Even if like that's what I'll do some days when I know I have somewhere to be. I'll put my devotional on while I'm doing my makeup. So like, I don't know, it's like an internal thing and also, just good for your brain. So even if you have to do it, I know like that private time with God is really important. But on the days where you don't have time, sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do.
So with the lightness, it's just still come after that. I'm still gonna be coming in to that arch.
Yep, and it's really subtle. Like I said, you don't want it to be like
too much,
whole new face, but you can see the difference there.
Yeah.
I do feel like this looks different to you too because we haven't cleaned up the top.
So that's true. We did it. We did it.
Once that's clean.
Because I don't even think, I think you did the top a little bit on this side and then I did it. You're right.
Okay.
You're right.
Let's
You're
clean
right.
you up a little bit.
You're right. Let me see. Let me practice this so I can try. Yes, let me practice it. So I'm going to start in the arch.
You really don't even have to start that high. I would start like here. You see where it's like
where
starting
it
to bend? Yep, you're literally just gonna connect that down.
Okay. But in my so I'm used to like making a line. It's not a line.
Yeah, you can make a line.
I feel like I need more product.
Yeah, you definitely do. But I also don't want us to put the concealer up there. So this is what we'll do.
Well, I can wait.
You want to wait?
Yeah, we can wait.
Let's just wait and do it when we do your foundation.
Okay.
Only do that so I also don't waste product.
Yeah.
Like, makeup is expensive.
Girl,
so
sure
doing it when you got a little on your hand to use for your face is important.
Yeah.
I'm going to go back to the dome brush that we used on your all over. And we're going to place your lid color. So from here, you can really do whatever you want. If you want to go shimmer, if you want to go color. When you have a good transition color, you can pretty much do whatever you want to do. Because what you'll do is, say I wanted to go on with this sparkly purple. I'm going to pack that on my lid. It's going to look crazy at first. It's going to be a line. But then I'm going to go back with this brush.
My transition color?
Yes.
Got it.
But because we use the darker, I will go back with this one. Okay. You want it as close to that line as possible.
Because this is 1, 2, 3, and then you got your little razzle dazzle.
Yes.
Okay.
Which you don't even necessarily have to do this. I just like it because I feel like it ties your bronzer, like the whole face together.
Right.
So I almost always use my bronzer shade on my eyes. I may not even use this and just use my bronzer shade. You know? But it just depends on how much time you have. If you have time to be more detailed, it's definitely going to make a difference if you do a tier from darkest, lightest,
Okay.
But what shade do you want to do?
Let's do just something that's
one,
neutral.
Pamper? Okay, so we're gonna do this little peachy, shimmery shade. You always want to kick off the extra because then especially when your lashes in here, you'll get some crazy fallout. So if you were trying to do this like a professional would, which actually, let me backtrack. This isn't something that you have to do, but if you want that makeup artist look, going back with your eye primer, you can even just do a little concealer. And that same brush you used to originally sculpt your eyes, you're gonna go back on your lid and just tap and kind of bring out your crease a little bit more. But you see what I'm doing is nice and controlled. I'm just patting and I'm almost rotating the brush to kind of create that round, carved out eye look. Yeah.
I mean, concealer makes it look
bomb. It does. So yep, we're gonna start tapping. We're gonna come a little bit higher. So before you do too much, hold on. You want to keep it nice and controlled. So if you were to open your eyes, right, where you see that is where you want to do it. So we're gonna come lightly across and just inch instead of back and forth. You're just gonna inch across. So you see I kind of started that line. You're gonna finish that line across.
Okay. So where you started this line.
And one thing I'll say that helps with eyeshadow is your head position. So tilting your head up a little bit so that area is flat. So this got a little bit muddy, but I'm gonna show you how you can fix it.
Because like right here.
Yeah. But all you're gonna do to fix that is go back
because yours is just straight clean. I mixed it in with
you went
my,
too high.
Yep, I went too high.
And that's okay. I feel like recognizing that is also learning from your mistakes. So I'm gonna go back with this brush. This brush is a little bit smaller, it's a little more detailed, so I can go back into this. And then right in that crease, I can carve that back out. So there's always a way to fix your mistakes, you see?
Yeah, and I just need to stay under.
Yes. So we're gonna go back with that and just tailor it a little bit. So that way we keep the focus on your lid.
Got it.
Really nice. All right, now that we got this one, I'm gonna clean it off a little bit and I'm gonna go into that shade. And it's the same ordeal. I'm just gonna pat, pat, pat. Anytime you're doing a lid color, you really wanna pat. There's a lot more lines on your lid than the rest of your eye. So you just really wanna make sure you get it in all of those little creases and crevices so that you get the best color payoff. You see, I'm just really taking my time. I'm gonna have you do it again. I want you to come a little bit closer to the mirror. And I kind of want you to tilt your head back just a bit so that you can really see it on your eye with your eyes stretched.
Okay. Woo.
Don't be scared.
Pressure, the pressure.
You kind of want to press and slide.
Oh, so I'm gonna slide
just a little bit. Yep. And then look at it before you just start applying so you can see. You want to kick off some of that extra sparkle just so you don't have as much fallout.
Okay.
Yep, that's good. And now you can start.
Ooh, it's pressure.
Make sure you have the side that's fully saturated right up against your eye. Yep, and you're just really gonna pack it on. Yes. Nice and controlled. I would tap to a little bit more product.
Tap in more?
Just a bit. And I'm gonna show you another technique you can do on your eyes that might be easier for you.
Okay.
Sometimes I'll place it right where I want it to go and then kind of slide it down. See how I'm kind of like pulling it from all angles? Sometimes that gives you a little more control too than just patting all over. And if you put it right where you want it and then slide.
Okay.
No, that's the hard part. Is like the lash extensions, they do get a little dirty. People don't know it, but we as makeup artists hate lash extensions.
I'm pretty sure.
There we go. But you see, it looks really nice.
It does. It's better than what I thought it was gonna look.
Alrighty, so now that we have that, you can go back again. This is that bigger brush. I'm just going to lightly buff it out. Make sure that there's no, fallout in that crease where I don't want it. That looks really pretty. I like that color. Me too. Alrighty, now we're gonna switch to the smaller detail brush again.
Okay.
I'm gonna show you on this side. So I'm gonna take this color.
Okay.
So when you're thinking about colors and placement, the transition shades go all in the crease to kind of give you the shape you're looking for. And then the darker colors go on the outer corner. So this is what is going to start to give your eyes that kind of like lift and pull.
Okay.
But it's really up to you. It's like if you want to keep your eyes the shape that they are, you also don't have to bring it up as high.
Yeah.
But I'm going to show you, I'm just going to lightly dig into that. I'm going to come right along the lash line. So you see I'm kind of using the brush to push your lashes down. And I'm going to come right along the lash line and just start slowly buffing that darker corner just into the outer corner. With the dark colors, it's really easy for it to like get out of hand. So I like to start just really buffing it towards along the lash line and the outer corner first. Even here, you see I'm not coming too far out. If you want to, just know that that's gonna start giving you that kind of like flick for like one look. And I'm gonna take what's left on the brush once I have this part like fully saturated, and I'm going to turn it. So I had it like this, right? I'm gonna turn it and just nice and controlled in that outer corner.
Good job. Okay.
So this way first. You just really want to pay attention to the shape of the brush. It's a lot harder for you to do blending and just placement of product if you're going against the brush. So When you take it like this is the same angle that you want it up against here, because then you're using the full capacity of the brush.
Okay.
If I have it this way, I'm now taking product up higher than I want it to, right?
Yeah.
So turning it on its side and really utilizing it the way that it's shaped, it's going to be the best way to get the look that you're going for. Now that I'm turning it, I kind of want a little more of like a peak here, this outer V. So I'm going to turn it on its side and just start to utilize it the same, way. But
so I'm going down, and then I'm having this peak area up here.
So when you're looking at this side versus this side, right, we started to kind of like pinch here, so that way you have a little more of a lift. When you're looking at this side, we haven't quite created that yet. So that's what you're trying to achieve. You're gonna come right along the lash line, and then we take what's left on the brush and come into here. But I'm gonna have you start with just the lash line.
Okay.
So you see I'm kind of just lightly rubbing into it. Right along the lashes, yep, as close to the lash line as you can get it. Yes, just like that. And then kind of take this left and lightly trim it to the front. Yes. So you're creating that shape. Just like that. I would tap into a little more product. Don't take this one into the V though. Just make this a little more dark. Yes. So you see you're starting to get a little bit of a line there.
Yeah.
So kick off some of that product. That's good. And then slowly drag it across a bit. Still close to the lash line. Yes. Let me see, stop. So main thing too you want to do is don't overdo it before you check your work.
Okay.
You want to like do a little bit, check your work.
Check it.
Yep, until you get comfortable in knowing, okay, this feels like enough. Right. So I'm going to show you, I think this area here, we got a little bit of skippiness right there, right? So we're going to go back with this brush. That's the transition shade brush. And we're just going to blend out that little line right there.
This one.
Because it just looked a little too muddy. So that's what you want to be thinking about too, is just like, if I was to fix this, how would I go about it? So always coming back to that transition shade is going to do that for you. Now I do feel like mine is a little bit darker than yours, mainly because we had buffed some of it out. So I'm going to go, yep, you're going to go back right along the lashes as close as you can to this right here and just make this area a little darker. Yes. That still looks good. Now you can go back with this brush. Right on that line that looks a little more like a line, you see? And that'll help with that too. Just kind of getting rid of that, like, oh, this has lines. This doesn't have lines. Let me see, look in there for me. I do feel like you could do a little more tailoring here, you see, versus that side. So let's just take what's left on the brush. Like I said, you're gonna put it in right in the socket here and just very lightly. You don't wanna put too much pressure because then it'll go darker than you want. You're just very lightly gonna shade too high right here.
See, like right here?
Right in the socket. Yes.
And this is the dark one?
You might be adding too much right now. See what I mean? You definitely want to take your time and not and check your work before you keep building. Okay, you can go back with this one. But you're getting a good lesson right now in fixing your mistakes, which is good. So if you need to, let's tap into this one. And now go on top. You're okay. It's okay. You see?
Like I need some more bronzer on me.
So what I would say is, if you're at a point where you're like, this looks too dark, I would clean off your brush. Don't put anything on there. And we're just gonna take it off. Don't want to put anything on there, just kind of take it off. And then you can go back, clean that off. You can go back with your lighter shade. And lay it on top. So you see I kind of used a lot, but I kind of wanted to cover that up. I didn't want it to stay as dark.
Okay.
But you see that looks so much better than the first time.
It does.
Oh,
child.
You're doing really, really good. I know that it's a lot, but like I said, it's like baby steps. You're doing really good. It's just one thing after another, knowing like, okay. And I think the main thing with you is you kind of just go in and start doing it, which I'll say most of my clients is the opposite. I have to like get them to do more.
You just like
that's
all
good
in.
though. I think the fact that you're putting enough product on is really good. You just kind of have to like slow down and like not overdo it. So yeah, just take your time, do a little bit, check your work. Do a little bit, check your work. I feel like that's gonna make a difference for you.
Okay.
But that looks really good. Okay, let's talk about liner. You said you have a liquid liner?
Yes. Is this
that looks like it?
Yeah.
Have you used this?
No.
Okay.
I'm scared to use the liquid liner. I know. That's why I don't even like to use them.
Don't be scared.
Okay.
I'm going to show you how I do this. If I was doing this on myself, how I would do it, just so you can kind of see my hand placement.
Okay. What
I would do. So with the felt tip liner, it's good if you juice it up a little bit beforehand. So I always press mine on here, make sure it's nice and juicy. And then what I'll do is I like to look into the mirror. Same way I told you. Instead of coming this way, trying to make my line, I like to tilt my head back. And I like to start from the very front. I put the tip in the very, very corner. You see how close I am? It should almost look like it's gonna run right into your lashes.
Right.
So I just very lightly inch. You see?
Oh my gosh, yours is so thin. Mine just be looking big.
I'm gonna show you. You see how I'm inching it across? Yeah. And you see the top isn't even perfect right now, but it's okay. I'm just gonna inch until I get like the feel of how I want the product. We're gonna do it. Okay. And the nice thing you have on the other end of this Makeup by Mario pencil you purchased is this cute little brush. So if you wanted to, you can always go back. This is still
so you can go back instead of like going back and trying to put more product. It's just blending it out.
Yeah. So I'm just gonna.
Oh, and then those lines, they're gone. Like the lines that are on the top. That's what. Oh my God.
So I feel like in the beginning, until you get more comfortable using this, that might be the best way for you to go about it. Just because that way you have more control. It doesn't have to be perfect, you know?
Yeah.
Okay, let me clean this off. Now, I'm gonna do it on you first so you can see. So look into the mirror so where you can see the line. Can you see it good? So same thing, I'm going to really, really close. So you see instead of coming like down into it, I'm not like this. I'm really like right in line with my eye. You wanna go right in line with your eye and just inch across, inch across. Inch across. So really take time to like settle before you go across. I think that'll be the main thing. If you try to just jump into it and make your line, it's gonna always it's gonna always be kind of funky. Okay. I actually gave you the harder one to do too.
Yeah, I know you did because this is easier.
That side is easier. But that's good. If you can get it on this side, that's how you know. When I do this side, let me show you. When I do this side, I bring my arm across. Okay. So kind of even get comfortable like sitting your arm like right across your boob. Okay. So that way you can be in the best position. It's gonna be the same thing, head tilted up. You're just gonna take your hand backwards and just inch, inch, inch. Okay. Remember, though, juice it up first on your hand. There you go. Yeah, come a little bit lower. You're gonna go right in line with your lashes. Yes, and then you'll start to slowly inch as close as you can. So you see you're not quite low enough. Come a little lower. Yep. And you're just gonna inch it across. Stay low. Because as you come across, you're gonna wanna lift up. You're doing good. As you come across, you're gonna wanna lift up. You just wanna keep it low to your lashes. Yep. You can always go back and fix your lines, yep. Just like that. And then the layers will be in the way. I'm gonna show you how to put some on though, so that makes it easier for you. Yes, just like that. You see how you're using the tip of it instead of using the whole thing? This side. Like what? You did all of that just for you to go in and do it perfect. Bye. Bye.
So it's just where do I need to go down some more? Like where do I know to stop?
It's up to you.
Okay.
So if you're trying to create that
I don't want to
cat-eye
wing.
shape,
I don't want to wing, but I want to snatch my eyes.
okay, so then I would stop right here because wherever you put the liquid, it's gonna do more.
Okay.
What you can do is now that you have this, you can go back into that dark brown that you used.
Okay.
So if you still kind of want to create that shape without necessarily going cat eye, I'm going to take the little Makeup by Mario brush. I'm going to come right on top of that line where I put the liner and just smoke out the corner.
Got it.
See? So you're going to come right on top of your end line over here and just smoke out that corner.
Okay.
Yes, just like that. And that way you don't have to like necessarily have a
Not so
defined
much
ending
line of the eyeliner. Like that can be okay.
Right.
Okay.
Let me see. I'm gonna come back with this brush.
Do you have a brush where I can brush these lashes, child?
Yeah.
They get on my nerves.
I think what's making yours look a little different from mine too is that you see this, like you have a little bit of lightness here. Let's go ahead and fill that in with the darker color. So you think you want it to be this whole little.
It's like a V, kind of like it's like a V.
Literally, that's how you want to think about it. I'm gonna go back with this little brush just to fix where you had that little liner mishap. So you see this little tiny brush. You can take little brushes like this that are for detailing and just use them
to clean up. And then my line right here, I will use the Makeup by Mario.
Yes. So I do like to do my under eye after my concealer. I mean, if you wanted to, if I want a super black line, I'll do it beforehand. I'm gonna show you. Have you looked up? Have you looked all the way up? But I'm not gonna smoke this out until after I have my concealer and stuff on. So I'll really juice up my under eye. And then close your eyes really, really tight. Really, really tight. Yes. So what you're doing is you're trying to stamp this black liner on your top lid so that way you don't see any gap between the color here and your lashes.
Oh, wow. And so what color was this? This was just the Makeup by Mario, the under eye?
This is just the super black. Now you can use this on top too if you wanted to. You would sharpen it really, really tight and take the same here motions of just, you know, etching it across, and then you would take the brush and just lightly smudge that out.
Okay. Okay. So I'm just putting this.
Yep. You're gonna pull your eye down. Have you ever put on an eyeliner? Yep. And then just really load it up. Try to make it as black as possible. Just like that.
Okay.
And then you're gonna stamp your eyes closed really, really tight. And that's gonna tight line your top line.
Okay.
Yep, perfect.
Okay.
Looks good. Alright, let's keep our caps. I don't know why that other cap
I don't know why it's not going.
You know why, actually? I think that's for this.
For what?
Yeah.
Oh, that's
foundation.
This is my favorite part because I want to know how to snatch my face.
Yeah, you want to be extra snatch. Okay, do you like full glam coverage?
I do. I would like to see what a natural coverage would look like if possible, and then build on to the full glam. Okay. Yeah. But even with the natural, can I still?
Yeah, for sure. I would say this is gonna be your best friend.
Okay.
This is such a good contour stick. It's very, very easy to use. That's the LYS. It's super creamy. really easy to blend.
Okay.
Like, I use this even on the days where I'm not trying to do too much makeup. Like, if I'm not trying to do a lot, I'll just give myself a little sculpt there, and then that'll be it. I do feel like you might have to go up a shade. I'm gonna see that. We're gonna see how this blends out. So even on days where I don't want a lot of makeup, I'll just put a little bit and kind of just buff it in. And you see it's already going to give you a little bit of definition. And then I kind of will just go over in the areas that I don't have any contour and just lightly do my powder. Okay. I do feel like you've gotten a little sun since I last seen you.
Girl, I have. Like,
so let me just see this one here. Either, because that's the main thing. You want to do one. So you see this one?
So I need it to be darker.
Yes.
So what about the, is that too dark?
A little bit, just because you see it's kind of purple. So this one is kind of like a good in between. So I would swap out the Courage for Strength. Okay. Which
I gotta put that on the notes.
I'm gonna put it on there for you. Okay. On a day-to-day, you could definitely get away with just using the Courage, or maybe in the winter time. So if you want to keep it, you could. The price point of these is really good. They're only $21.
Yeah.
So if you want to keep that for your winter routine, you can too. But I think just knowing like, this is too light or too dark is really important too. I keep spraying.
No, you're bad. No. I was looking. I wasn't worried about the spray.
Okay, so if you're going for a lighter coverage or lighter makeup, I like to do my underpainting. So if you're going for more full coverage, I like to do base layer foundation and then put it on top. Okay. But since we are trying to learn
full, you want to do your base and then put it on top. But if you're not trying to do full, having that under.
Because then you have more control of like where you put your foundation. If you do your underpainting, I'm going to show you that. You can use your sponge and just in other areas where you need a little more coverage, just lightly put some foundation. If you want overall coverage, doing your full, foundation first and then going on top to highlight and contour.
So for content day, I'm going to need full face and then coverage on top.
And I mean, if you really want to, you can still underpaint with your full coverage. You would just have to like double up your powders at the end, just making sure you are really bronzing, really contouring. So you see that's the one I use. It's a generous amount of product because you'll see as I go to blend these out. I'm now gonna go in with this lovely brush you just purchased. You really love her. When you're blending your contour, you don't want to just like buff all over. You really want to push it into the skin and blend upwards.
Okay, so I'm blending up.
Yes. Okay. So you'll see even my placement here, a lot of people will come underneath here.
It's above the cheekbone.
Yes. But
I would make like a V right here and I would
Yeah, you could do that too. Whatever you need to like make sure you have the right placement. Angle. But I like to, so like if you were feeling your cheekbones, like my cheekbones are literally right here. You know what I'm saying? So you want to kind of lay it right on top of that cheekbone, not underneath, but right on top. Yeah, just like that. So I'm just tapping, and you see I'm just blending upwards. So you want to keep the product nice and controlled. You're just tapping it in. I'm blending it upwards. I'm taking part of it along the front of the cheek too, so that you get that too.
So is it true like when you bring it to the front of the cheek, it makes your face more rounder? No?
I mean, it depends on where the most saturation of the product is. So because we saturated most of the product in this area here, it's just going to pull you upwards this way first. When you put it along the front of the cheek, you just want to make sure that you go back in with a brush or something to lay on top, so that, because what you don't want to do is have that line, you know? So you have to take part of it through the front of the cheek just to make sure that it's blended properly. But you don't have to worry about that. As long as you know like your placement with your other products, like it'll be fine. But yes, so that way you start to get that snatch. Now if you do feel like, I feel like I want to be just a little bit more, you can come back through with just a little bit more product. And you see I'm almost like blending this into your temples.
Pretty much.
So that it takes you higher.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, you're me the hard side. This is where you can kind of thrive. You can have a little more freedom and really
you can have a little
push
more
it into
freedom.
the skin. But you see how it's starting to create that line there?
Yeah.
So you really want to like push. So as I'm pushing, you see how I'm lightly giving a little bit of a drag. Not a lot, but.
So instead of creating that line, have that drag. To where I don't have that line.
Yeah, so you want to keep it controlled, and you're still tapping, but it just has, you see how much easier that's blending out now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then up here,
Yeah, up there you can have a little more freedom. You're gonna kind of pull it down. You don't have a super big forehead, so you don't
know. Thank God. It's a little bit.
I would suggest, you just got some new brushes, right? So I would suggest this more so for your blush. This is good because this picks up product and puts it down. So for something like a blush, you can get away with using this and it's going to give you like the perfect diffused look for your blush. But for your skin, it's going to shear down your foundation a lot. And it can also cause it to be kind of streaky. So I wouldn't recommend this one for foundation.
Yes, it really does. I feel like it'll be some light and dark spots. So yeah, so I'm gonna come in
right in that area, yep. And you can take that to the front of the cheek as well. So you're going a little too far down. You're okay. It's not bad, but you see where I have it. I'm not coming too far here.
Where's my stopping point? It's like right here.
No. You see, I brought it forward. So when you're doing it, you just mainly want to focus it here, and then you can bring it down and into it. But it's this whole little panel here. So if your contour's here. Your contour's here, your blush needs to come directly on top of it. So it's this whole little panel here.
Okay, so it is still coming down.
You just don't want to go too far into this.
Oh, yes. So you're not saying like you're saying don't go down this way, but it's okay to bring it across.
You just don't want to go down that way. I think next thing I would do is your color corrector.
Okay.
Which color are you going to use?
I have this one, child. It's struggling. I should have ordered me another one.
Hold on, let me get you this one.
Okay.
I would recommend, I'm gonna put that on your list too, the Huda one.
Okay.
The Huda one's just like the perfect like ochre kind of peachy color. It's actually pretty similar to this color. This one is maybe just a little more burnt orange. So you don't really want to use too much of that. I'm gonna go in, this brush here is a good one. Like I said, because it's picking up the product and taking it away. So we don't want to oversaturate this with the orange. Because we don't want our concealer to come across as orange. But this one is really nice because it has those edges that you can diffuse. So you see in the area where you needed more coverage, I was tapping it. And then just to make sure there's no harsh lines, I'm using those little brush bristles to diffuse that so you can't see anything.
Okay.
So you go back on top, you're gonna tap right where I put it because I put the product right where you need it really. So tap right along there and bring it across, That's good. I wouldn't come along that part too much anymore. Because the more you come across, the more it's gonna start pulling it off. So we want to keep it as controlled as we can in this area here.
And then I'm going to the nose.
You're just gonna diffuse the outside edges of it so that you can't see anything. So you see how you're kind of coming. That's because you kind of started coming along there too much. So you don't want to pull too much on there. In this area, you really just want to tap in. So I'm gonna let you see how fast I do it. I'm just gonna tap across until it's nice and opaque.
Got it. So I don't really need to brush it. Just tap.
And you can see it's already kind of lifting. It's already nice and diffused. That blurring wand did a really good job of like making it already kind of look like a filter. So now we can go on top with your concealer. I like to let my concealer sit for a sec. Just to really build up the coverage. So I have you look up. I'm gonna apply a pretty decent amount here, and then also give us some in the outer corner. I'm gonna apply some on the other side, same way. And don't be scared with your concealer. You can definitely do a little bit more right there. And then do some on the outer. Just like that. That's pretty much all you would need. And then we're gonna let that sit while we look at your foundation. If you do this with a sponge, it's going to take some of the product off. So I'm gonna let you see how I do this. I'm gonna lay it on its side. Like I said, use the brush just how it is to kind of be your guide. So I'm gonna lay that.
And I see you use the foundation rather than the concealer, so it can blend in.
So boom, you got that line going. I'm now gonna take it and just bring it down.
Okay.
If
I
you
like
need to
that
use
brush.
the
I need
tip,
to
you
get
can.
that brush.
You can have this one. I have a lot of
You see, you got a lot of them. And these start like right here.
Yep, you just gonna lay it directly on top. You don't want to go too far outside of where your brows, too far into like where you already arched your brow. I would bring this down a little bit deeper. So you see how it's still kind of wide? Bring it a little bit closer towards the brow as you come down. Yes, just like that. All right, so we're gonna go in with the house labs.
Okay. And so you think it would be better to use this rather than the sponge anyway?
The sponge is going to soak up some product. So if you're thinking about coverage, if you really want to build the coverage, a sponge is going to give you the least amount of coverage because it's going to soak up the product. Your hands is going to give you the most coverage. And then a brush falls somewhere in between the two. So you see I'm just packing that on. I'm not really coming too far into your contour, just a little bit so that there's no like super harsh lines. But that's what you would want that to look like. I will say this brush kind of eats a lot of product. So I'll give you another recommendation.
Okay.
This is more so for like a powder, like a beauty powder, but it's the size and the shape that you would want as your foundation brush size. But you can see it does eat a lot of product. And then we're gonna take that through your nose, kind of just get it everywhere in those areas.
In my nose,
coverage. You take it all around your nose. Don't be scared about that cheek. Nope, you're doing good. You see how you're kind of like lightly buffing into it? That's what you would want to do because you also don't want those lines to stay super harsh. So you see on my side how like I've kind of diffused it a bit. You're going to do the same thing. You don't want to do it as soon as you put the product on your face because it's obviously going to have a lot of coverage. But once you've gone through and you've kind of started blending things out, you can go back through and then do it that way. Looks good. Let's take a little bit more product through your forehead.
This is what I was struggling. I felt like I got a dab instead of like.
It depends on how much coverage you need. Because remember, when you're tapping, you're building coverage. When you're like buffing or pulling, you are sharing it out.
So just tapping is more coverage. Okay. Ooh, the house labs do actually look good on my skin. It does.
We're gonna take what's left, and I'm just gonna hit this area here. This is also just a good brush that you can use on your body too, if you needed it. But where you put it, it looks really, really good. I'm gonna look up to the center. So same thing when you're doing your concealer, you want to keep the coverage as nice as possible.
So I'm dabbing.
Yep, you're dabbing. Now, if you were doing a quick fix look, you could just put a little concealer and kind of lightly pull. But since we're going more full glam, we're going to let our concealer bake and we're going to slowly just tap. So you see right now I have this crazy line going on the outside. I'm going to keep that extra product. Any of that excess product, I'm going to just slowly start to blend it down into your cheek so that this whole area looks nice and flawless. And then I'm going to take the extra off and just lightly start to buff out this outer corner.
So you buffing the line away?
Buffing the line away.
Okay.
Look how pretty.
It looks really good. Let's try.
So remember in this area, you're going to tap. You're going to tap until it gets nice and opaque. You don't want to overdo it because you don't want to take the product off. And then start to slowly pull it down. And then start working on the outside. Yep, you're just going to follow that line all the way out. That's good. And then use what's left over on your brush. So you see how you have a lot of product left over. You see this area right here that still doesn't look quite covered. Yep, tap right on top of there. You don't want to overdo it because you're going to start to take it off. Yep. So you see how it's starting to take it off. That's what I was saying. You want to make sure you keep it nice and controlled because if you do too much,
it's going to take it off.
So when I go to blend, I really only blend until I see it looks smooth. So you're going to come back right in this area. And I'm tapping up here first because if you bring it too far down to your cheek, it's going to lose your blush.
My brush.
Yeah. So you're going to tap right on top of that gap, bring it up a little bit until you've gotten rid of some of that extra product, and then take it out.
Well, I don't need to tap no more.
No, you ain't tapping no more. But I'm going to have you blend out that line that's on the end. Yep. Don't blend it too much into your eye, but mainly just pull in that outer corner so that you can't see any of those lines. Yeah. Since we have a little more product on this outside, you can go back with that brush you use for your contour.
Okay.
And then I'll bring that back. I will do that for all over really. And I'm not really pulling because I don't want to disturb what's underneath. I'm just lightly tapping this to kind of make sure that that color is still prominent.
Okay.
That looks really nice.
Sure, now what is this?
This is a Morphe brush. But
put that on my list. See if I can get it from Ulta, because
you're so funny. Okay, so now I'm gonna have you go with your medium tan up underneath your eyes, and you're just gonna do that how you normally do.
I usually use this for under my eye, but tell me what do you suggest?
So I would suggest just going in with one of these.
Okay.
You really don't have to do a sponge underneath there, but what you're gonna do is just really pat the product onto your brush. So I like to kind of like scrub across, and then I like to tap on top. And then once I do that, have you look up, I just pat on this area. And that's just gonna instantly just set and smooth everything. I like to do that all in my areas here as well. Okay. That looks really, really good. How do you feel?
I feel good.
Feel good? Perfect. Okay, so from here, we're gonna do a little bit of baking.
Okay.
So we're gonna take your Huda Beauty powder. This is a really great one. So I would tap into this with your powder puff, right? But that's a lot of product. So we're gonna kick some of that off.
Okay.
And then we're gonna have you look up. And we're just gonna give a little extra here. I'm also gonna tap into it and put just a little bit on the bridge of your nose. We haven't contoured your nose just yet, but this is just gonna keep it from getting like muddy. Once I do that, we're gonna keep this area nice and bright. Okay. So I'm gonna have you tap into it. You're gonna kick off some of that extra on your hand. I was just tapping into your hand to get that extra out of you. And then you're gonna go into your eyes. Yep, and bring it a little closer to your nose on the other side. Yep. Just like that. My mineralized powder first is just like a good base layer, and then this is just mainly to smooth and brighten.
Okay.
If I was you, I would do your nose contour with your NARS.
Okay.
Because this is already super matte. The color is great. I'm gonna take a little bit of product, and I'm literally just going to lightly glaze it across. So you'll see it just already starting to take shape there. So I was just gonna tell you, I think if I were you actually, I would turn it a little more. So right now you're doing it down. Turn it a little more on its side so that you aren't going too far outside of the shape you want. Okay. Something I normally tell my clients, what you kind of already do, is to back your hand up on the brush. So a lot of times when we're trying to blend or do things, we are like this, and then you end up having to do more with your wrist. When you back your hands up, you can kind of allow your fingers to do more of the blending for you. Okay. It just keeps it nice and soft, keeps it from being too harsh. That looks really good. Yeah. And I honestly feel like if you wanted to.
So when people put it like right here in the nose, does it give it like a different kind of like look to your nose?
So what this does is basically just cuts this off. So that way this ends up being the length of your nose versus the tip being the length of your nose. Okay. Yes. So that's all that does. It just kind of cuts this off so that way you focus your attention more towards the upper bridge and not all the way down to the tip. And then what I would do is just to make sure that this is blended nice, I would just go back with your powder on either side. It's not really going to take that away. It's just going to soften those edges. It's going to keep these parts kind of stronger. And then you can just go back. That same brush you had used for your mineralized powder is still going to have some product on there. So I'm going to hope you brush this away without it looking like you took everything off. Pretty nice. Alrighty. So now that we have all of our cream on, everything's pretty much finished. We did our finishing powder there.
And that's it from all from my contour on my nose. That's it.
You want to add more?
Well,
it's up to you.
A little, like just a little more.
Okay.
Like so what else? If I wanted to add more, so the only thing for this line right here would just be my baking powder.
Yes.
Okay.
It's up to you. I feel like that's what starts to make your nose contour look more harsh. Is once you start adding like highlight here, contour here, highlight, you know what I'm saying? So for me, I like to do just like the powder on the nose to kind of keep any contour from going in that area, and then contouring the sides. Okay. If you wanted it to be a little brighter, which is totally fine, it's totally up to you as far as like.
I want it to look natural though. I like how it looks, you know, natural. But it was just real easy. I was like, that's it.
Well, if you want it to look natural, that's what I would suggest. You know, as you start to add more, which isn't a bad thing, like you can still make that look pretty nice. But if you wanted to add more, you could come back down the bridge of your nose with a lighter concealer. You see, and that's gonna make it. Which is still pretty natural. Like there's different ways to do it. You don't have to overdo it every single time.
Girl, mine is horrible. I have a long line that I gotta do. Ooh, see that looks good.
Yeah. Okay, so that might be your thing. I would still do the powder first, so you can make sure your contour doesn't overextend into those lines. But then I just took a little excess concealer that was on my hand, and just on this little detail brush came right down. I didn't even bring it all the way down to the tip, just to the nose, because I don't want to bring any extra attention to the tip of the nose.
To the tip of the nose.
I want to make this look like that's it. So then you're just going to take your powder brush and just tap on top of that to set it. You really don't even have to do too much. Okay. Yeah. I think the main thing when you're contouring your nose is to like do it in layers instead of like
doing it all in one.
Add where you feel like it's necessary, and maybe not necessarily straight out of the gate, because you don't. It's a lot harder to blend that out than if you were to come back and just add a little bit more here or add a little bit more there.
See,
you know what I mean? But even that, I feel like you can start to see the lines again. So I'm gonna come back.
It looks good.
Yeah, it looks really nice. I feel like what you could do too to give you like a little more of like a high glam look is to come with a bit lighter concealer. So you could do
and that's what I would do with like that Anastasia. It would be a little bit lighter.
Okay, I didn't realize you had another one up here, but yes, I mean your mocha still looks really good. Like this looks really nice, but I think if you want that more like polished full glam look, after you blend that out, you can come back with just a pop of a brighter concealer right in the very front, blend that right into the other one, and then set it
under the eye.
Give you
Okay.
And I wouldn't even do a lot. Like I said, I would just put a touch right here. I wouldn't even put it on the outside, just on the inner corner, just to brighten you up just a little bit. Okay. But this looks really nice. Okay. And last things is, let me see this one, bronzer. This is a really good bronzer brush. So I'm gonna go in the bronzer you already have, a little, mainly into this one, a little bit into the dark. I can do the one too. And then what you're gonna do is just sweep this forward. You could always come in and line it just a bit, but I'm laying it on its side this way and just kind of sweeping it towards the front of your face. It looks really pretty. So again, I'm gonna sweep here and then go into the dark. That honestly might have even been too much.
Oh, look, first I want to do too little. Now I want to do too much.
That's what I would do. I would go sweep, right? And then 1, 2.
Okay, got it.
But when I do this one, it's like a little, it's very light.
And so you said I'm sweeping out.
Yes, so what I would do is when you're thinking about placement here, lay it this way and sweep it upwards.
Oh, I'm sweeping upwards. So I'm sweeping up.
Yep, all around the perimeters of your face. So you can also take that around your forehead, but that's like the placement and how you would want to do it. You would want to use that brush in its full capacity. Instead of just taking it on its side, and you lay it that way, you get to use the full length of the brush to do more of the work for you. I feel like that side's a little bit more harsh, but that's okay. If you do get that, you can just clean it off a little bit. And we're just gonna come right back on top and just soften out. You had a little bit of a line right here. So we're just gonna soften up that line. Okay. Yeah, that's pretty. Okay, now we're gonna take our Patrick Ta blush. You can see which one you want to use. You got some good colors. Ouch. Try this one. They all kind of have a really pretty.
Okay, that one's pretty.
That's really pretty. Okay.
So you said to come in right here?
Yep, backwards first, and you're gonna just sweep it forward.
Oh, I'm sweeping forward.
So I think when you're thinking about it, instead of like a little inching, you're just gonna kind of sweep, like a sweeping motion. See how it kind of ran into your contour? So you can always go back with your contour a little bit your bronzer and kind of just bring that back out.
Okay.
But no, that looks good. Last couple things. This is a really good eye detailing brush. This one first. How do you look up? And I'm just laying the brush on its. You see? Can you see it anymore? I'm gonna lay it right across like this. Hold the brush, right? And look up. I'm gonna place it first, and then I'm gonna smudge.
Okay.
That way you keep it nice and controlled where you want it. See the difference? And smudge that out. And I'm gonna go even lighter. So that one I had maybe like down here on the brush, right? I'm gonna take the darker brown, maybe like here on the brush. So very, very light. Just a little smidge. Look up again, I'm gonna place it again. And I'm keeping that really, really close to the brush line. So you get a little bit more smokiness, you see? So really light, you see I'm taking it straight. I'm not even gonna play it on its side, I'm just gonna come straight on top. Just so that it's on the tips.
So just straight on top on the tips.
Yep. So when you're thinking about saturation, right? If you have your blending brush that you use for your transition shade, this can be more saturated because I'm going to use it all in the crease. I'm going to make sure, you know, when you get to those darker colors, you don't want full saturation because that's going to come on a lot harsher. The color's a lot darker, so you really don't need as much. So when I say that, I say saturation as far as like how deep the product is going into the brush, right? So if I'm using this color, I can swirl it a bit. It can come down to this point. If I was using this, I would only want that to be on the tips. Got it. All right, and then this is where you can add some mascara. And then we can talk about some clusters. You can just do some mascara up underneath the bottom if you like. Look at a bunch of clusters.
Do you have any that you like recommend? Or I know
the cluster lashes.
Or the you like the strips? I have the strips and the clusters. Like, what do you think is gonna be easier for me?
I think putting a lash strip on is pretty easy, not gonna lie. But I do feel like if you want to step away from like having to get lash extensions, I think learning how to do clusters would be really, really good for you. What I would suggest is a lot of people like to do their clusters on top just because they're used to like doing them on top. I think what might work easier for you is if you do them under the bottom. You can, you know, grab it, apply your glue. Let me show you.
Can you still show me how to do a strip too?
Yeah, I'm gonna show you. I'm just gonna do both. I do feel like for these, this would be better for you for a strip. For these, I would use a pair of tweezers. So I'm gonna show you. So when you're doing this, I would pick it up by the hair. It's not sticking to me, but pick it up by the hair. You would apply glue. So if you were doing this underneath, right, you're gonna put the glue here. Like that. I'm gonna look down into the mirror. So when I'm doing it, I look down into the mirror and I'm just gonna tuck it up underneath there.
Oh, so you're tucking it under. Let me try to brush these eyelashes. You just hold me up.
So if you were doing this, you would just come right underneath. I'll stick it and then I'll take your lash roots. The glue can kind of dry down a little bit. So I'm gonna stick it and then I'm gonna take my lash tweezers and just push that right into there.
How you made it look so easy?
I promise it is. I know it feels a little crazy, but I'm gonna let you try. It might be easier if you do this with your other hand since you're gonna have to do this.
Oh my gosh. Look at
you see the angle? Let me show you. You have to put a little bit more glue on here. And I think your angle, you were kind of like pushing it like so that it was straight, but you want to lay it right up against the lashes. Even if that was your natural lashes, you want to make sure it's laying right underneath them. Yes, just like that. Be careful and push it. You don't want to let go as so. You want to make sure it has something to grip onto, but just like that. Now, if you didn't have lash extensions on, it would be easier for you to see your placement, and you would literally just take the next one right next to it.
You can still see like
So once you have it in there, if you feel like you still see a gap, you can take your tweezers on either side and just pinch them together. You see? You can also take the other end of your tweezers and kind of just
like
melt them into each other.
Okay.
Just like that.
Okay.
But the more you practice, like,
but I can see the clusters probably being easier maybe than the strips.
You think so?
I don't know. Let's see. I don't think so. Let's see what the strip looks like.
Now the strip, I feel like learning the strip might be a little bit harder because you have lash extensions on.
Okay.
One thing I like to do when I don't have strips on, I literally just take the lash glue across like eyeliner. I take my lash, stick it directly to where I put the glue. And
so you put it where you put your eye, like where this black eyeliner is, right here, right? And then you just stick it on.
Yep. Okay. And it's much easier, but because you have lash extensions on, we won't be able to do that today. Okay. And that's okay. I'm gonna show you how to do it with your tweezers. Okay. So the main thing, it's like I told you before, is getting that angle, so that it's angled on there, right? Okay. First thing you want to do is just measure them to make sure you don't need to cut them. Have you look down? You have a lot of eye space though, so I think you'll be fine not having to cut them. Yes. Okay. Now we're gonna take these guys. You want to, instead of pinching it from this, it's harder. You're going to slide it behind the lash. It's a lot easier to grip onto. Okay. Yeah. Actually, make sure it's fully saturated. So you see that kind of bubbled up on you? You know it's fully saturated. What you're going to do is you're going to take the tweezers and use it to kind of push your lashes down. And then you're going to get it into position. Okay. Remember, you want to get it as close to the lash line as possible. Okay. So I'll coach you through it. So tilt your head back again so you can really see. Yep, you're gonna use this to push your lashes down. So almost like this first. Yep. And then you're gonna come in right behind it. So you see, you want to tilt your hand a little bit more. Tilt your hand, tilt your hand. So that you can get as close to the lash line as possible. Now let it go. So now that it's on, yep, it might be easier for you. It's easier for me to just take my finger. Okay. So I pinch it with my fingers. And then I use that to get it into position. It's okay. Pinch it from this side over here.
Pinch it from this side?
You can take your right hand, it might be easier for you.
So when you say pinch,
do you use your nails like this?
Yeah. So are you meaning
just like
pinch
that.
it like this, right?
You're just gonna, when I say pinch it, I just mean so you can grab it, so you can push this into here, you see?
Oh, to push it in.
Because that's what you're going to do. Once you have it set in the middle, you're going to tuck the outside, tuck the inside to make sure it's on there. It's okay. You can always take the tweezers too if you have to. So maybe these are just a little bit harder to work with, but you can always take them and just push it in there with the tweezers. You see the difference?
I did that. So you just push it into where my skin is, really.
Yes.
It's not your lash line. It's not the lash line. It's really your skin.
Yes, it's the skin above the lashes.
It's the skin above the lashes.
Yes, as close as you can get it. And so even then, sometimes I have to, like here, I'm going to pull them down just a little bit so that they're really close. Okay. And then you can go back with your spoon.
How do you look and know? How can you see if you're close?
Show you. Let me brush these ones out so you can really see it. Looks good.
And it doesn't look like it's coming up right there. Now, and I guess having a line right there too, it makes it covers it up.
That looks good. Like I said, you want to take, so you'll take this longer end. Wherever you're using, the longer end is going to be here.
The longer end is going to be on the inside.
Yes.
Okay.
So for this one, it's going to be like this. But it's the same thing. When you first come in, you're going to come in almost upwards.
So you're going
and then
up.
you're going to angle this down so that it can come right along the lashes.
Up and angle down.
Because you really want to come up because you have these lashes. If you didn't have lashes, you could just push it right up against. Since you have your lashes, you want to come behind your lashes. Yep. You're going to angle it and then push this down so that this can come right into it.
Okay. So it's an angle, push down, and then angle.
And you really just want to take your time and make sure you're as close to the lash line as possible. That's going to make the difference.
And so how do you know if you need to cut it? Like, so if it's going past this line or if it's going past here, you just cutting it a little bit?
Yes. And these ones are shorter, so you don't have to cut them, but you'll be able to tell. You can look at one and be like, okay, this looks a little long. Like, let me just make sure. Oops, I'm sorry.
Okay.
I thought the lid was on it. You'll be able to look at it and say like, let me just trim some of this so that it doesn't poke me or prod me or get on my nerves.
So I can go up.
Yep, you're gonna come directly behind the lashes. Yep, and then push it in. Yep, just like that. Yes, look at that. You got them almost one try. So keep it where it's at. What you might have to do is, yep. See how you're using the outer corner, you put the outer corner in? It might be easier with your hands, I'm not gonna lie.
Oh, but this is just the struggle.
Yep, you literally just push that one in though. Main thing is you don't want to take it off from the middle. So even if it takes you a second to get your outer corner and inner corner tucked in. Yes, you did it, Nicole.
I did.
Yes. Okay, now do your inside.
Okay.
Yep. You're gonna push it right up against the skin. Do you feel it? Yes, yes, yes. And you'll feel it, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Once it's close enough, you can feel it. I do feel like this one isn't quite close enough. So we can take your nail and just pull this down, you see, and then tuck it back in. But yeah, that's exactly how you want to do it.
Gosh, I did it. Now I just need to.
So you really just want to get it placed on top.
So I need to
and
get
then
it placed on the inner and outer corners, and then
place it in the middle first.
I mean, place it in the middle first, and then I'm pressing down
Outside.
on the outside.
Because that's the hardest point, is just getting it stuck to begin with. So if you can get it in a good position in the middle, it's now stuck. You can take your hands away and it should be okay. Now you can take your outside corner, and what I do is when you're thinking about it, you're gonna pinch it here and literally just push it into the skin. You're guiding it in.
Okay.
Same with the inside. You're gonna pinch it here and push it and guide it in.
Okay.
Once you're able to use your nails like tweezers, you'll be in a really good position because you normally get this shape here. Yeah. So I use mine like tweezers. I'll grab the hair and I'll just push it right into there.
Okay.
But it's not like with your fingertips. It's literally with the tips of your nail together.
So it's just the tips of the nail.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. So there you go.
And this would be considered like a full glam.
Yes. Now, is anything that you would like that you could like add, you know, if you feel like your contour isn't popping enough, you can go back on top with a little more bronzer.
So it's really just be the same thing, but it would just be going on top.
Yes. And again, this is what we did with the underpainting. So if you want even more coverage from your foundation, which I don't feel like you necessarily need.
I know, it was not even a lot of foundation used.
Right. And I think especially with this heat right now, that might be the way you want to go, just to keep your skin feeling lighter. But I feel like if you wanted more, you know, full coverage, you could go full foundation underneath, then go on top with your contour, you know, basically the same thing we did. Like I said, if you want to go even more glam, I would take that lighter concealer, powder that in the inside. It's going to give you that more full glam look too.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But this is gorgeous.
It is. So I mean, I feel like the eyes, it's what's doing it for me. It's giving me that, you know, that oomph with the eyes. Sure. But yeah.
Do you feel like your face feels snatched enough, or you feel like you want more?
I want a little more snatch, but I feel like as a natural, I think it looks fine. But for camera, what I wanted to ask you was, do I need to place more, or would this be enough?
For camera, this would still be enough. I feel like it may fall just a little bit flat, just because you don't have that extra brightness underneath your eyes. Like right now, underneath your eyes is kind of like the same high point as like your chin and like your forehead, which isn't a bad thing. But if you do want that extra, like, you know, high def kind of look,
it's gonna be that lighter concealer is just gonna give that extra pop.
Yeah, it just takes it to the next level. But it's little things like that. Like, it's not even necessarily like you would have to change up the whole routine. It's just knowing, okay, if I add a little bit of this, it'll do this. If I take a little bit of this away, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that's what I was saying. It's more so like brush technique and like placement, knowing, okay, this is where I want to add a little more if I want to give it a little more. And I think same thing, like even now, if you wanted to give yourself a little bit more of a snatch, you can go back with this Huda Beauty powder, sculpt underneath your cheek.
Okay.
You see that?
Oh, I see.
And what that's gonna do is, if you allow that to set for just a second, what that's gonna do is make this look more prominent, like you have even more of a set.
I do. I see. So, and then down here, I don't need any concealer. I see people put concealer like right here and then right here.
So what I like to do is I like to take what's left on our brush because we were teaching, you know, we kind of were talking through it. But after I blend that out, I'll take what's left on my brush and kind of just hit here. You have to be careful because you can very easily make your chin look a whole lot lighter, and then your chin to here doesn't match, and then it's like, whoa, what's going on?
Yeah.
So I don't like to take a lot of concealer down there. I just like to use like the excess that's on my brush. Like if I'm
that makes sense.
Now, if I blended this out, right, and I blended this out, and I still have a lot of product on my brush, I'll go back in my forehead and in my chin with what's left over, and then I'll blend out after the fact. So that way I'm not like blending more and more product up underneath my eyes. Yeah,
got it.
Can kind of use it that way. So then I'm just gonna lightly sweep that away. We also haven't used any of your setting sprays just yet, so that will make a difference too. Another really good one, I like to cover my eyes just because sometimes setting sprays that like give you that glass skin can kind of disturb your eyeshadow. But you see how like it already is giving you like a little bit of glow back to your skin. I really like this one. This is a Makeup Forever liner that I actually do like. These Makeup Forever liners that are in this one, the Extremes, are super waterproof. I just feel like some of the colors can be a little gray. So you just have to be careful, but they are really nice. This is Dark Dimensional Brown, which you can see is pretty deep. I like this as like a detailer, but not necessarily for like all over sometimes. This is Night Moth, which I know you're probably familiar with. Still stand by Night Moth for like a good red lip. This is Root for Me, which I really think you'll like.
So all three of these will be good base foundation. I mean base as far as lip liners. Okay. So this put them all on the list. Back it up.
Cracking up. Yeah, this one is Root for Me, and then this is Plum, which Plum isn't a color like our skin tones typically go for, but like if you're ever wanting to do like a soft pinky lip, like say you remember Snob? Yeah. This with Snob is like
it would be everything.
Yes, because it's not going to make it too dark. It's just gonna give you that rosy tint, give you a little bit of shade. So I'm gonna try this on you and let you see. We're just gonna do a cute little pinky lip. So
that's cute. And then like with the liners, can you give me like some lip that you think would be like a lip color, lipsticks? Or I'm really a lip gloss. I like a lip gloss, but I know you can use the lipstick and then you can have some gloss on it. But
for sure. Let's just see what Plum is looking like on you. I love this color. Anytime I wear this with a lip, people are always like, what's in your lips? What's in your lips? Because everybody's so used to seeing a pink lip with a brown liner. But it mutes it down so much when sometimes you really want to keep like a popping pink, you know? So you see what I'm lining? I'm really taking it just to the edge of your lips. I'm not going to overdraw you too much because you already have a really great shape. But I like to take it on the side. That way you kind of get the full use of the pencil and it's not like just one line, you know, you kind of get some shading with it. So try that one. I'm gonna get you a cake.
I have this MAC Prime. I guess it's supposed to be like a
primer. That one is really, really good.
Should I put, you put that on before?
You can put it on now too. Okay. What it does too that I like is that it smooths out like any lines and cracks in the lips. Makes them really, really smooth. But when you do put it on all over, it does just increase the longevity. Yeah. That's good that you have that one, big one. Okay, this is a NARS lip paint. Just like a cute little pinky color. And then I'm gonna put a clear on top. So you don't have to shy away, even though you are a gloss girl, you don't have to shy away from lipsticks. Especially when it comes to like a combo heavy tap. And sometimes it'll just give you like, you know what I'm saying, a cuter combo.
I love this.
Yeah, this one is really pretty. It's very like soft and subtle, but it's cute. Tap one more time. Yeah, but you see what I mean? Super cute. Yeah. And then if you wanted to, you can always go back, maybe just very lightly on the edges with another dark brown. As like a detailer.
Give it that up.
Just to give it a little more. And that's more so just like for shading purposes, not even necessarily like for color purposes.
No, it's not. It's just really shady. Yeah. And lets the lips pop a little more too.
And then I will go back with that plum liner, just to make sure that there's no. It's okay, I got you. Just to make sure that there's no harsh lines between the two. Like it just kind of flows, you know. But I do feel like that little bit of dimension definitely did something for your lips.
And I love the liner because it just makes your lips look more fuller than what they really are.
When it comes to the shiny lips, if you want that lacquer, honey, this one is going to do it every time. And I feel like it just increases the longevity of my lip too. I love the extra shine. It's so pretty. Cute.
That's cute.
Yeah, that's really cute. It's very girly.
It's very girly. Yeah. Very simple.
Very simple. Okay, so since we already did your powder melt, do you have a highlighter that you like?
No. I mean,
not really. This one I've been like gagging over. Look how pretty.
Ooh. House labs.
But yes, we're gonna do a little bit of this one. And I like to take highlighter and put it everywhere because we love that glow, honey.
We'll put that one to the list. I like that one.
So we do the powder melt spray. If you have like Charlotte Tilbury that you like, or one of those, you want to
use Charlotte Tilbury. I'm out of it, but I know which one you're talking about.
Yeah, you want to use. So those are technically called fixing mist.
Yeah, because it gives you that. I don't know. It's setting it, I feel like. It's setting it. It's not making it last.
Yeah, it sets everything together. It's going to fix any like fine mistakes.
Yeah, that's what it's going to do. Would you say this would be like some of the same color as a highlighter for? Like
soft neutral is nice. You just have to be careful because it does have silver.
Yeah,
a lot of silver.
Yeah.
So.
Put that one. You're going to put that one on the list.
I'll put that one on the list. And then now that you're finished, you're just going to go through real healthy spray of that just to bring you back to matte skin. This is House Labs. You're gonna be a pro. I know
it's so just like but I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it.
But I think it'll also be like exciting for you just documenting this journey too, like getting better at doing your makeup, like because you are a beauty girl.
Yeah,
it's not like
I am.
This isn't who you are.
Yeah. It's so nice to be a beauty girl and have somebody else do the beauty sometimes. But you have to learn, you know, and you have to know and do things, and I think it's gonna be a really good skill to have. So
I think so too.
I just
it also makes you like more of an expert on the product.
Yeah.